what is the outcome? Have you been able to resolve whether or not to go on that strike? Because we're looking at the implication of the communique and the action or decision of the NLC. Should you decide to go ahead, is a total and final nationwide strike still active?
Well, thank you very much. I think we need to get the position of the NLC very clear on our communique. Our communique stated clearly that by 2nd of August, we're back on a nationwide protest as a first measure towards other measures for the government to reverse certain anti-people policies. And that's clear. Nothing has changed that as we discuss now. That's where we stand.
You're asking, one of your demands is for the reversal of the policy, status quo ante bellum. Perhaps that is how legally to describe it. You're asking federal government to go back to when subsidy is being paid and when fuel cell for below 200 and something is, that's when it rose from. Is that the case?
No, not antebellum. If you understand, you will agree with me that we had an agreement with the government over the issue of 520 increase in PMS. And that agreement, the committee was yet to start work when the government announced another increase. So the committee set up based on 520 equally met today to start work on the issue of 120. The issue of the recent increase, 617 or 630, is not on the table. And it was on the basis of that we have issued our protest notice. And we'll go about that one, despite the fact that the committee on 520 is meeting.
So what today's meeting, were you able to bring this matter to the table? And what was the response of the federal government?
Which of the matters, the 630 or 617?
No, the latest matter now is that go back to 510. Were you able to bring that matter to the table?
The issue is 510 is at the point we set up a committee, and that is where we are still discussing. Now, the issue of 617 or 630 is being resisted, and it is on the basis of that, that we are going to start our protest on the 2nd. The issue of equally 520 is still not resolved, but at least a committee has been set up, subcommittees set up, the working groups set up. We are discussing on it. The issue of, we have not estimated as at today, because we agreed today to fast-track discussions on that. We are not discussing the latest increase, and it's based on the latest increase that we are taking action. I think this is clear.
But when we wonder that the federal government are taking the Nigerian Labour Congress and its affiliate organizations to the industrial court, is that order subsists, or it has been vacated, or it's expired by exfusion of time?
Well, I wouldn't know. The issues there are different. The issues there are issues around 520. The issues are being handled in the courts. So the issue of 620, 630 is not before any court, and our response to it is not a strike action; it's a protest action. I'm not sure there will be an injunction against protest by Nigerians.
For those who have lived long enough to experience labor strike in Nigeria, know how painful this could be to the economy, on how strangulating it could be to the general activities of the people of the country. Is Labour looking at this situation? It's already bad situation in the country, the price of commodity. The resident doctors, some of your members, some of your colleagues are also going on strike. Have you looked at the impact this will have? Is it going to be a case of when two elephants fight, the grass suffer? the poor you claim to want to fight for are probably going to be on the receiving end. Is it possible you're looking at this dimension?
Well, it can get worse than it is today. The impacts we are talking of, is it the impacts on commodities or the impacts on the people? What we are resisting, what we are fighting against is the impact on the people. And the impact is so much. It's worse. I don't know what other consideration one can look at. Every government policy, every policy in a nation is aimed at benefiting the nation. So if we have a policy that has worsened our state, Naira is gone, economic activity is gone, foodstuff gone, movement, you can't move, transportation gone. And, we are still analyzing that it will worsen the situation. Which situation will be worsened? It is equally, it is rather a move to rescue Nigerians, to see whether government can show some level of empathy for us to do things differently to enable Nigerians to survive.
And as a president, I know you did tell me that you're going to create some time because you are right in the middle of something. I'll allow you to go. But just before that, can you tell us, Mr. Ajaero, this total and final nationwide strike that you are talking about, how extensive would this be?
Well, the position is not even just that of NLC. It's a protest by Nigerian people to say, in case you don't know how we are feeling, this is the way we are feeling. Market women, farmers have been beseeching our offices to say, look, let's communicate this to the government. This has gone beyond
so this is
media.
going to look like a shutting down of government and, of course, the nation's major activities. This is what it's going to look like, isn't it?
This is going to be a protest with all the issues raised, with all Nigerians coming out.
And you describe the policies of the Tinubu administration as anti-people, poor people policies. That's how you describe it.
Exactly. When you look at the fact that the little money being saved from the so-called subsidy is now being used to finance those at the National Assembly, those in the upper chambers, why people are suffering. The people who have started paying 600 and something from 85 naira are now suffering. They are paying more. Now they are paying more to finance those, upper there. So you can see that such a policy is very hard, it's very harsh on Nigerian people. And why the ones up there that says 70 billion naira is being provided for are ending better, are living better, while the excruciating effect of these policies are on the workers, are on the students that can't even leave from their houses to the next destination.